just me. No, I'm kidding. No, that I don't know. I mean, I guess it's okay to share because no one knows who my therapist is. Uh, the therapist decided to make changes to their schedule to benefit their family, and that includes not originally they were just going to change their hours with the app that I use
Yeah.
to get them, but instead they've left the app entirely and they're going to go full in-person
Oh,
care.
really?
Yeah.
We live in a
So
new world.
we do. I wanted to let you know that I am now pretty much settled on where we're going to move, and I believe we all agree, Chicago, Illinois,
Oh, really?
because it is close enough to the place where I work right now that on the once or twice a month, or not a month, once not a month, like every once or twice a quarter, I have to go and be in a sort of a convention kind of thing
Yeah.
that takes place where we live now.
Right.
And so I could just hop on a train and go there.
So you think you're going to be able to afford to live in Chicago?
Yeah, I'll just live in a place where I have to. We've seen some places. We're gonna work it out. It's gonna be fine.
Cool.
Um, I mean, it's at the big thing was that Pennsylvania and or not Pennsylvania, Philadelphia and Chicago have some things that cost about the same, if that makes sense.
I didn't
They're
know Philly.
similar.
Was Philly in the running as well?
Yeah, that was one of the main things that we were thinking. But the problems with Philadelphia were just that it's not really near any of the offices that
Yeah.
the places I have worked. It's it's close-ish to some of Jennifer's family, but we don't really know anybody there.
Yeah.
Whereas Chicago, I've got I mean, there's a whole improv community there that some of
Yeah.
my old friends are in. So that's really nice. And then also just, I mean, theater. I mean, gosh, if you're interested in theater, Chicago's a great town
It's a place to be.
for that. So yeah, that's and it's so many other cool things. The Bean, obviously, you gotta see it.
I
It's
go
Chrome.
I go through Chicago every once in a while on my way to Buffalo.
This is
I don't hang
then
out there. I just
I have to say one of the things I was thinking about
Oh
was that
yeah.
it is sort of in between Seattle and Buffalo. And I thought what I
Angled
was going
more
to do is
towards the Buffalo side.
I was going to paint a tunnel uh, and then put up a sign that says Ben Seed with a and
Little
just sort of
sign.
trick you into coming by, but
Yeah.
no. So yeah, I mean it's getting closer. It's getting more real
Yeah.
as a concept, and it's
I mean
just
I
I just think about like how nice it would be to be there.
Yeah. And also like your biological father lives near there, right?
That is the other thing. Yeah. I mean, he was kind of. I called him and talked to him about it, and he told me that my brother's uh, mother-in-law is a real estate agent.
Oh.
So, I mean, that's the other thing is that one of the things that we're thinking about is buying a place, not renting. I
Really?
mean, that's part of it.
I guess there's another thing we should talk about after the show for our Patreon subscribers.
Oh
That
yeah.
is that concerns what we talked about after the show last week.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a
There's
great
any
idea.
there was any change in. what was said.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There was. There
Okay.
was. The your instincts have kicked in, Ben. There's a real. In fact, hey, let's talk about this, right? I mean,
Yeah.
moving. I'm gonna have to move anyway, right?
Right.
What are your thoughts on DVDs these days? Like, I'm looking at all the stuff I have to move, right? And I have a bunch of
Yeah.
DVDs. I'm wondering, oh, that's right. We haven't talked about this, Ben. Um, I tried the Apple Vision Pro.
You tried it? Did
Went into a
like
store and got a demo for it,
yeah.
and instantly got addicted to it.
Oh no.
Like, I'm okay now, right? The reason I'm
Yeah.
mentioning this is that if we were gonna buy a place, we'd need to have a down payment,
Right.
obviously,
That's how it works.
and the Apple Vision Pro would be a chunk of that down payment, so I can't get one. Impossible to get one and feel good about it because we have this plan now, and I have to support the plan. But for like immediately after doing the demo and for a day or so afterwards, I'm just like, well, I've obviously got to get one. I mean, there there's no there's no way around it. I guess I could get a credit card, go into debt or something. I mean, I have to have one of
Because they're
these,
like
obviously.
$3,500.
Yeah, I mean, if you want the good one, the one with the terabyte of storage, not that they're not all the same hardware, but I mean, storage, right? You don't want to feel like you have to constantly clean it. You want to be able to have, you know, as much storage as to grow into it. The way that I got around it was, and this is something that both Jennifer and I talked about, um, they're only going to get better
Yeah.
and smaller, lighter, cheaper, all that. I don't think they're going away. I don't think it's a Google Glass thing. I think that they will stay because I mean, I would not wear it out of my
Right.
house. I would just sit around my house and use it all the time. Because here's the thing. This is the thing that made me go, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to get one of these. Uh, I didn't need my glasses to read the the words on the screen, right? So when I'm you can books is one of the things that you can read in it, and the book was just right there, and I was reading like I was when I was a kid. No glasses on. Just well, wait a second. I had glasses when I was a kid. What am I thinking of? Oh, I guess I would take my glasses off sometimes and read like this when I was a kid. But yeah, so the reading was really great, and then the video, no comparison. It's all crazy. I mean, you know, uh, the the uh, PSVR has some 3D video stuff on it, but it's nothing like the Apple Vision Pro, where there were a couple times where they have a thing where you're just right there and you're looking at the thing like a person. There was one where there's a woman who's singing and you're just right there and she's in front of you singing.
You think you would utilize its spatial computing technologies and replace
Absolutely,
your
yeah.
your desktop?
I would not use a desktop anymore. I would just use it. Yeah. I would have to get maybe a keyboard.
Right, a
You
physical
know,
keyboard.
a physical keyboard because and this is one of the things they don't show in the demo is people talk about that when they did it, there were some input devices that you had like the keyboard
Yeah.
and they didn't work that well. Not input devices, sorry, input methodologies. Um, no longer part of the demo, apparently, at least not when I did it, because um, it was just not an option. They didn't show it. But like, so, and this is gonna be good for again future people. This is new, ladies and gentlemen. This is not something that has happened in the 21st century until just right about now. Funk Soul Brother, check it out now. Okay, so the idea basically is you have your Apple Vision Pro on, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing that happens is you see the person who's giving you the demo, and there's something weird about them. They look the way I could describe it is that they're a little bit lighter.
The person
Like
giving the demo
everything,
is, you're talking about somebody in physical space in front of you,
yeah,
talking you through the whole thing.
talking you through the demo. They're a little bit lighter. It
Because
looks like the brightness got turned up on
yeah,
them.
because what you're seeing is not actually like a pass through. What you're seeing is
Yeah,
a representation of them.
and that's when you there's a split second where you're like, huh, that's weird. Why do they look lighter all of a sudden? And then you realize, oh, I'm not seeing them. I'm seeing
The
a
camera
video
is,
of them.
yeah,
And it's that good that for a second you don't know. But I will say that once when you take them off, uh, the superiority of your own vision becomes
yeah.
clear.
There must also be some sort of like weird sort of um, body feeling. I don't know how to describe it, or because like if you spend that much time in VR, when you come out of it, it's a little weird. It's like if you go on roller skating and you skate for
Yeah,
like an hour, and then when you put your shoes back on, you start walking around. It takes a
absolutely.
little. It takes a minute to be like, oh yeah, this is what walking feels like. So when you take the
So
Apple Vision Pro off, you'll be like, oh yeah, this is what being in the real world feels like.
so this is the part that I was talking about that we haven't seen in the 21st century, but I think will probably become ubiquitous.
Yeah,
This little pinch here,
yeah,
that's how you select things, right?
right.
So your eyes are the mouse, and this is the clicky of the mouse. So, and that's all you use to navigate, really. Um, and you can grab onto windows and just move them wherever you want. So this is one of the reasons why you were asking me if I would use it. Absolutely, I would use it. You can have as many windows as you want, and you put them wherever you want them, right? So I
Yeah,
put the browser behind me, and then I could look up at it whenever I wanted to, etc. Um, and the things that they took you through, photos were one of them, and of course, Apple TV is great on it. So
I wonder why.
yeah, well, for real. But there's there. It was weird also because they have this thing where you're watching Avatar, Way of Water in 3D,
Yeah,
and the way you watch it in 3D is so strange, but it worked for me. You have a screen in front of you, and it's coming out of the screen in 3D. So it's
yeah,
very strange. It's like, you're watching it through a doorway, basically.
yeah.
But and again, like I said though, they have other video stuff that they did that is fully immersive video, pretty much. Like it's again, it's weird. It's not 360, it's like 180. So it's still in a space in front of you, right? And the other thing that was interesting is that if you focus on, like, so he would be talking to me, right? And I look at him and I'm focused on him, and the video will fade out and he'll fade in. It's really kind of crazy. And this is one of the reasons why I was saying, I'm not going to wear it outside of my house. Um, Once someone is able to hack that reality side of the headset, it's going to be really weird.
I saw a video today of somebody. What it looked like was like a takeout restaurant in a Vegas casino, or it might have been a mall, where somebody was wearing an Apple Vision Pro and also sitting on like it looked like a Segway but with a seat. So it was just a little like two-wheel gyroscopic unit that the person sat down on, and so
Yeah.
they're like zooming out of the restaurant with their goggles on their little scooter, holding their, what McDonald's take and drink of the shake, presumably. And
Yeah.
yeah, and that was like, that's unusual to see now, but like when, how soon is the day going to come where, you know, they change cities to, because of the
The
Apple Vision
real
Pro.
reason people change. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to be sitting in a self-driving car just on your Apple Vision Pro, and there won't be hotels anymore. You'll just drive to
Yeah.
where you're going. People just order cars to sleep in and to travel in.
That's actually, I mean, you're not far off. I did hear that like the hotel industry is nervous about self-driving cars because that,
Yeah.
takes away the need for roadside hotels, motels
All that's
specifically.
going to have to happen is that someone just gets driven to the middle of nowhere, and then the car shuts off,
Yeah.
and then they're stuck there. I mean, that would be the thing. Pirates, Ben, a new or stagecoach robbers, road agents, as they were called in Deadwood, I believe.
Yeah.
People that have non self driving cars that the cars, don't they aren't on the grid. The cars don't know that they're there. Who drive up next to you, and because here's the thing that I was thinking about: speed limit, right? If if the cars are self driving, and if we get to a point where we're relaxed enough, you won't need to go 55 miles an hour or whatever. You can go 20. You can go 10. We'll get there when we get there, and we'll
Yeah.
just sit around or whatever. And going slow will be cheaper, right? If you go slow, then you're the version of the car that you need isn't going to be so souped up, and you'll be fine, right?
No, I mean that's
If you
the
need to go,
like they have self-driving semis, it's only a matter of time until not just cars, but self-driving recreational vehicles. So you
yeah,
have like your
exactly.
hotel room on wheels that's only going,
Yeah, because you won't have to. I mean, the whole reason why most people don't have those huge RVs is because they don't want to drive them, right?
Yeah.
They get a smaller one so that they can do it. So yeah, it is an interesting idea. Um, but we should. So anyway, the main thing is this. Not going to buy one.
Yeah.
If I didn't have this goal to save money to buy, a place,
Yeah.
then I would totally have one, and I would be using it, and I would be doing the podcast from it.
Is there, oh good. Is there a timeline between for this move to Chicago?
Well, the timeline is, and I think Betty and Jennifer would agree to this. The timeline is, um, we for sure have to wait until Betty graduates, right? And that's in June.
Yeah,
But
okay.
we also don't want to rush like I did when I bought my house in Seattle,
Right.
because that was like, well, I got to get it done now, and we took, like, one of the first ones that we saw, and it was bad, and et cetera, et cetera. We don't want to do that in this
Are you
case.
talking
We
about
want
the
to,
South Park house or the White Center one or
um,
both?
both, really. I mean, in both cases, it was like we got to move, as soon as possible,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. And I can talk to you more about it after the show. Join the Patreon. We don't have one.
We're not gonna have one.
And again, if at this point in time there is a Patreon, something bad has happened. And thank you for your support. Um, so yeah, but the basic thing. This is the as you probably have seen. This is the Papasan. Did I already
Yeah, we
show you
saw it.
this?
We saw it.
Got rid of the cash.
Not just maybe you showed it last week when Jennifer was on it, recovering from her
Yep.
head injury.
And then here is the love sack. We got the pillow version this time, so we're gonna have that as well. And then I'm on this chaise lounge, which I don't know. We're gonna try. You can see my hand. Sorry. Uh, we're gonna try to keep it if we can. but I don't know how that's going to work out. But yeah, so we're staying here in this house until such a time as we
Yeah,
have to move, basically, or we can move.
right.
And yeah, I mean, honestly, here's the thing: Chicago has a good public transportation system, very robust.
I mean, I'm not quite sure about the outskirts. I mean, I'm assuming that the suburbs of Chicago are have decent public transportation.
Yeah. Um, I mean, there's one place that I went that it seemed like it took forever to get there, but that's because I did it through Amtrak. I didn't think about using. There's like if you can imagine a Sound Transit train
Yeah,
as well, and I didn't look at that. I only looked at Amtrak. So if I'd used that other one, it could have been a lot easier. But live and learn, etc. So
indeed.
um, I am watching The Tourist on Netflix as a show, and it's pretty good. It
I've not
stars the
not even heard of it, I don't think.
it's a the first episode. I mean, the first season. It's pretty. I mean, I'm not giving any spoilers here. This guy loses his memory, and he has to figure out what to do
Yeah,
about that.
how to get
And
his memory back.
well, or just how to deal with the problems that he is having that he can't figure out because he has amnesia.
Right.
Very much sort of like Memento, but without the gimmick of him losing his memory all the time.
Yeah.
Just one of those situations of, well, who's this guy? What does this guy, know about him, and all that sort of stuff. And so it's good. I like it. The other thing is, I mean, I don't know. I like Guy Ritchie. Uh, Soft spot in my heart, exactly. Why? I don't know. I mean, we were in college when Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels came out, I
Is
think.
Guy Ritchie, is he created The Tourist? Is that his show?
No, 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 no. I'm sorry. I'm jumping to a new, the Gentleman is coming out.
Is that Guy Ritchie's
Might
show?
not be. It's a Guy Ritchie show, or at
Okay.
least it's a Guy Ritchie movie that the show is based off of. It's today that it's out.
Ah.
Um, and so I'm interested in that, obviously. And then you've got, Dimension 20. I'm still a fan of role playing games, Ben. That's another thing. I mean, everything's in Chicago, but lots of role playing game stuff.
You can go to a taping of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me at the
Yeah.
it used to happen at the Chase Bank Auditorium, but they've moved venues. I can't remember the name of the new venue.
Is John Malkovich's is Steppenwolf in
Steppenwolf
Chicago?
is in Chicago, yeah.
Yeah. Not that, but there are, yeah,
You can at
we
least
saw
go see
Hamilton in
something there.
Chicago when we went there too.
Yeah. There's a
Um,
lot going on.
yeah, lots of people who just need to get their brother their epilepsy medication so that they can go to Detroit also in
Is that
Chicago.
from a movie? I don't.
No, no, that was from the train station when I was there. There was a guy who just the police took his brother's epilepsy medication and he had to go
Ah,
to Detroit. And Jennifer has suggested that taking money out of an ATM to give to people when you're at a bus station in Chicago, it's a choice,
yeah.
as my
Maybe,
acting teacher used to say,
maybe not one you might want to make.
or at least not on a daily basis if you end up living in Chicago
Right.
and taking the train every day. Oh, but Ben, there's so much food there too. I didn't even think about this.
Deep dish
So
pizza,
many,
hot
yeah.
dogs, beans, I hear.
beans
Or just one
on
big
toast.
bean.
One bean. Oh yeah, the bean, Ben. The bean,
The bean.
obviously. Um, and then again, like I said, the Improv Olympic is there, and all the different shows that happen. That's where they make Jackbox games. Also,
I did not know that.
yeah, and so yeah, the path is now before me. I'm working towards this as the goal. And I don't know. I think that eventually, I'm serious about this. I think eventually, you're not going to get a laptop from work anymore. You're going to get a headset that they, are going to expect you to use for collaboration. I hope they don't move us back into offices. I really do. Although I
Well,
guess
how are you
if
going
you're
to
looking,
justify the cost of the office to your shareholders?
yeah, if you're looking for a new job because you had to go back into the office, but you can't because you bought a house, Chicago's not a bad place to live. I would think that finding a job in Chicago would be easier than finding a job in other places.
Say, Central Illinois.
Yeah, it could be wrong, but yeah, yeah. Also, Mothman. I mentioned this to Betty and Jennifer. There were Mothman sightings in Chicago uh, a while
Like on the
back.
train?
No, no, flying above the city, apparently.
Really?
Probably a dude who's
In a
got some
jetpack?
kind of, yeah,
Moth
jetpack situation
jetpack?
going on. I would think that Spring Heel Jack needs to make a comeback at some point in time as well. Are you familiar with Spring Heel Jack,
I am
Ben?
not familiar with Spring Hill Jack.
He's I think he was around in the Victorian era. I could be wrong, but he's like a precursor to UFO sightings. It was this guy who made incredible leaps,
Okay.
like would like jump over buildings and stuff like
In
that.
a single bound.
Yep, exactly. Precursor to Superman. I think I might have said this before, but maybe not. I saw a car around these parts that had a cross on one side and Superman's logo on the other,
A
like
cro
by the
like a
license
like a
plate, right?
Christian cross?
Yeah, so there's the license plate. On one side of the license plate is the Christian cross, and on the other side is the Superman symbol.
Yeah.
And it made me think a lot about how Superman is very similar in some ways to he comes from another place, uh, and is sort of a half, he's an alien, but he was raised by humans, so he's sort of man and Ultraman at the same time.
He can roll away large boulders with ease.
Roll away large boulders with ease. Uh, the paragon of goodness,
Preaches peace.
better than any person should be. American. Uh,
White. Very, very white.
yeah, 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 yeah. So, but yeah, it's like almost was Superman.
It's funny because
You
Superman
know,
was created by
fi-
two Jewish people.
yeah, fictional. Well, so is Jesus. Hey, hey, who did it? It was me.
Oh, one person.
Oh wait. Oh, dang it. Hold on.
Haha, I got you.
Oh, you're right. Well, I don't know. I mean, because God technically can't be Jewish because his mother wasn't Jewish because he doesn't have one. But Jesus could be. Jesus, however, could be Jewish. Maybe. Oh my God, Ben, it's more than we thought. God maybe showed up as Jesus so that he could say that he's canonically Jewish.
God
Because
showed up
you're
as Jesus.
yeah, because okay, so the loophole, right? Jesus is God in most Christian
The
At
Son
least
of
the
God.
people who believe in, well, but if you believe in the Trinity, also God. So just Son of God, but also God. That's the whole thing with the Trinity that people don't like. It's a mysticism sort of thing. You God, right? Three persons, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, but all of them are also God. So, as a loophole, God sends Jesus, his son, to be born of Mary, who is Jewish. Therefore, Jesus's mom is Jewish. Therefore, Jesus is Jewish.
Hmm.
Jesus is also God. Ipso facto, God is Jewish. Therefore, um,
It's
you
a
know,
very convenient way to convert
he converted without having to do anything.
without
Well,
having to study
actually, I guess he had to.
the
Yeah,
the
he actually did a lot though, if you think about it. I guess if we're going with canon again. Um. Oh, by the way, I need to look up, and I promise that this isn't going to be hard to do. Oh, it's already starting. You can already hear me
oh
getting into my.
Jesus.
I'm looking at something, and I'm also talking to you. Um, philosophy, uh, 10 coins. Um, proof. No, yeah, philosophy 10 coins. Oh yeah, Getier's problem. Are you familiar with Getier's problem,
I am not
Ben?
familiar with Getier's problem.
Okay, so here's the basic idea. There's this guy named Gettier, and Gettier says, that you're the idea of what you're trying to do, right? If you want to know what knowledge is, you need to understand that knowledge in general, by with philosophers, right, is let's see, what is it? It has you have to have three different factors. You have to be able to justify the information, believe the information, and the information has to be true. Uh, is it JBT? I think it's JBT. Is it, or is it JTB? It's I believe it is. I'm gonna have to look it up. Justify, believe, justify. This is great so far, right? We're doing good.
Quality content.
So in order to have knowledge, it has to be a justified true belief. JTB,
JTB.
justified true belief. So as an example, and this is I'm not going to use the Gettiers one because there is one that somebody said that I think works out really great. You think it's probably about 10:30, right? That's your thought. That's a speculation, right? It's not knowledge. Uh, justified true belief. You look at your watch. Your watch says it's 10:30, right? You believe that your watch is correct, right?
Hmm.
And this is the important part, in the grand scheme of things, you know how when you talk to me a lot, I'm like, well, you don't know, you can't believe anything. How do you know that this is real or whatever, blah blah blah. Um, in philosophy, right? There is this concept of truth without that. Let us say that there are things that are true, right? In order for us to talk about this concept, let's say that there is, something that's true. So you
Right.
look at your watch. Your watch says it's 10:30. You believe it's 10:30, and it is actually 10:30, right? Like
Yeah.
outside of Ben's experience, it is actually 10:30. So it is a belief. It's 10:30. your belief is true, it is 10:30, and you're justified. You're not just making it up because, you know, you look at your watch, it says 10:30.
Yeah.
And that's how you define, and for those of you who are philosophy majors and I'm getting this wrong, I apologize. I'm sure I am. But that's
Large
but that's
philosophy
how
major listenership we have here on the show.
that's how it's that's how it is considered knowledge, right? If you just believed that it was 10:30 with no justification, you're just like, I really think it's 10:30. That's not knowledge. It's you speculating.
Yeah.
Um, if if you're justified to believe it, like you ask me what time it is, I say it's 10:30, right? And you're like, okay, well, Paul told me it's 10:30, but it's not 10:30, right? That's also not knowledge because what you've learned is false, right?
How
You
do you know
don't
that?
have knowledge of it being
Are you
10:30.
in this? Do you know that it's
It,
false in this scenario?
right, and this is what I was saying is that this philosophy thing presupposes that there is a truth that we can have, right?
Yeah.
That there is, for the purpose of this. Um, so like the other option is, you look at your watch, it says it's 10:30, but it's dark outside, and you're like, no way, it would be light by now. I don't believe it's 10:30.
It's 10:30 in
Even
the
though it's
morning.
even though it's 10:30, you don't believe it. So then you don't have the knowledge because you have to also believe. So what Gettier said was there are situations where you have a belief, the belief is true, the belief is justified, but you may not actually have the knowledge. And the example that one person gave for this that I really like is this. You look at your watch, it says that it's 10:30, right? And it is 10:30. And you believe it's 10:30. So you have this justified true belief that it's 10:30, right? And then you walk around and you catch the bus and you're sitting on the bus and you look, it's been about 15 minutes, your watch still says 10:30. Your watch is broken, right?
But it's
But
right
at the
twice a
time you
day.
looked at your watch, right, at the time that you looked at your watch and said, "Oh, it's 10:30," it was 10:30. So did you actually have knowledge that it was 10:30, or is it false? I gave you that one first because it's an easier one. There's another one that Getty here proposed, and I'm gonna get this a little bit wrong too, but it's fine. Um, so two people, Paul and Ben, go in for a job interview, and Ben goes in to the job interview and then leaves, and Paul goes into the job interview and says, "Well, I see that Ben was just in here." And the guy says, "Yes, I was really impressed with Ben. We don't even need to interview you. Ben's going to get the job." And I get out and I'm kind of dejected. And I see you sitting at a table and you've laid 10 quarters out in front of you because you're going to be doing laundry later. And I make the decision, or I make the mental leap in my head. The person who's going to get this job has 10 quarters, right?
Yeah.
Because I've been told that you're going to get the job. You have 10 quarters. And, and I believe you're going to get the job. I was told that you were, so on and so forth. So the person who's going to get this job has 10 quarters. Um, and then the guy runs out and says, wait a second, you're Ben Lawrence with an A. That's
Uh-oh.
not who I wanted to hire. And I just found out that he had declined the job. Paul is more qualified, so Paul, you get the job. And then I reach into my pocket, uh, and I feel a bunch of quarters that I forgot that I put in there. I pull
10 of them out.
quarters out, and I have 10 of them.
Yeah.
So I was correct that the person who was going to get the job had 10 quarters. But did I actually have the knowledge? Because everything that led me to that decision was incorrect, right? So that's called a Gettier problem, and I find it really fascinating. It's a very interesting little issue when one is thinking about truth
Right.
in general. Also,
I
I'm
mean,
sorry that I made you unqualified in my scenario, Ben.
it's okay. It just, it just reflects real life. And so that's
Obviously, it wasn't a job about
the
videotape editing.
truth that we all live in.
I bring this up to people all the time, by the way. That when we were first editing, I was like, Ben, I don't want you to touch my editing equipment. If you don't mind,
Well,
I would like to edit this. Um, I mean, it to me,
uh,
it's
no, but
really funny.
in your defense, that was before I started doing this.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But it's just crazy the way the world works because you are so well. It's not crazy the way the world works. If you put in the effort and do stuff, you get good at it, which you've done, and you're
Yeah.
you know anybody wants to hire Ben to do video editing for them,
Oh,
you got to get in line,
get in,
buddy.
yeah, get in line.
So yeah, the the again, more talk when we get off the regular feed into the
Just
special
off the
Patreon feed that
stream.
nobody gets to. Because yeah, I got a lot of stuff to tell you, Ben. It won't take too long,
Yeah.
promise. Ben's gonna get the news.
Hey, I'm gonna get some news.
I don't know the guy's name, Ben, but somebody,
President Joe Biden.
no, the exact opposite. Not President Joe Biden did something interesting, but it in the end won't matter. What was it?
Jesus.
And this
Somebody
person
did.
was absolutely not Joe Biden, and that is part of the reason
So
why it's important.
is this still in the realm of politics?
It is. And the fact that this person was not Joe Biden is important.
Was it the Republican guy or the guy who won the Republican primary for the governor of South Carolina, even though he's a real wacko?
It is not.
All right, I don't remember his name either, and it doesn't matter.
Joe
Um,
Biden is involved.
Joe Biden is involved. Was it the impeachment proceedings brought against him?
It was not the impeachment
All
proceedings
right,
brought
so
against him.
nothing connected to that.
Nope.
But Biden was still involved. Oh, was it Seth Meyers standing next to him eating an ice cream cone?
It was not Seth Meyers standing next to him eating ice cream. I didn't know about that.
Ah,
No, it's something. Okay, it does have to do with it being an election year.
yes. So wait. So the hint was somebody did something and it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, and the person who did it definitely wasn't Joe Biden. And the fact that they aren't Joe Biden is important.
Is it the person who's running against him now? The person who now is the Republican nominee?
Oh, I don't know about the Republican nominee thing, but it is what you're it is somebody who is running against him.
So Trump?
And again, it doesn't. Nope. Not that race yet.
Oh, so
Okay,
a Democratic challenger to
a Democratic
to
challenger.
the
Yep. Oh, you're getting there.
Republican.
You're so close, man. A
Who
Democratic challenger
else?
to not to the Republican. A Democratic challenger to, and let's just say it, Joe Biden.
Yeah. And not a third party candidate, but a
No,
Democratic
Democratic.
challenger
Yep,
to Biden in the presidential primary.
that's right.
I have no idea who else was on the ticket,
I do not
honestly.
know the guy's name. I'm not going to look it up. There's a guy. He won Guam
He won Guam. Well, good for him.
against Joe Biden.
There was, there's been a
It doesn't
large,
matter because they can vote, but they can't. They don't actually
yeah.
change the
There's a
electoral
large,
college.
even within the Democrats, there's a large don't vote for Joe Biden in the primary, vote uncommitted as a response to his ongoing support with money and weapons to Israel in their war in the Gaza Strip. And so
Yeah, man,
Biden's
that's
getting a lot of flack for
I
that.
I would not want to be Joe Biden in general, and that's all I have to say about that. No, but Vermin Supreme, Ben, once again, uh,
He should race against Good Space Guy to see who wins their
who's
own
good
race.
space guy?
Oh, he's a third party candidate who always seems to be on the ballot around here. I don't even know what his policies are.
Oh,
I don't even know what he looks like. Um, all I know is that he's good. He's a guy, and there is space.
I left the Libertarian Party twice. Um, once
But they
when
keep
I
pulling me back.
well, no, I mean one. So, and those of you who aren't 50 years old won't know about this, but for a little while, the Libertarian Party was actually not like Republicans who smoke pot or whatever they call it now.
Yeah.
It was actually the crazy party of people who like actually want to have a good time and be cool, sort of. Uh,
Without the
anyway,
oppressive thumb of the government on their
yeah,
scales.
and with if they had kept Vermin Supreme as their nominee, because he was doing really well and they got rid of him. If they had kept him, I probably would have voted Libertarian.
In the general?
Yeah, I didn't, and because they didn't do it, it was a no brainer for me. But I might have struggled, and people would have been mad at me. But I just there's something about his particular brand of craziness that I
Just appeal to
enjoy.
you? Appeal to your particular brand of craziness?
Yeah, exactly. But I recognize that I have a responsibility to my fellow human beings, and that just voting for the crazy guy because I think he's funny is
Right,
not responsible.
right.
Um, I do like the phrase "Vermin Supreme will take away your guns and give you better ones." I think that's funny, but also I think Sandy Hook was a tragedy. So
Yeah, and
what are you
also
gonna do?
whenever I hear you talk about Vermin Supreme, to me it just sounds like some sort of daily special at Taco Bell.
Oh, can you imagine? Oh, I'm so full.
They're
I had too many Vermin Supremes. Yeah, it's
crunchy, I
let's
hear.
be honest. It's Taco Bell in um Demolition Man world.
Yeah.
So um let's see. Also, I saw a video of Bill Burr and John Lovitz insulting each other for 15 minutes. Did you see that?
I watched the whole hour, sir.
Oh, there was a whole hour. I only
It was
watched the
from
15
it
minute
was
clip.
from Bill Burr's podcast, and yeah, they just I mean, I guess they're just like good friends, and that's all they do is they just insult each other, but like with love, you know? It's
Yeah.
actually it's quite funny. Yeah, I would recommend going back and watching the entire thing.
Wow. Yeah. So I don't know. It is one of those things where I liked it because he was like, this is my impression of you. Einstein was smart. Bill, oh, I don't know. That whole thing was like that was the thing, is that they
Yeah.
weren't just insulting each other. They know each other well enough
Yeah.
to be extra mean in some ways.
Yeah.
So he is a little bit of a contrarian,
I
I
mean,
will
if
say.
I, yeah, it was like watching Bill Burr interview like some sort of weird other dimensional version of Joseph Krebs. Um,
Yeah, it really was. Yes, I would agree with that.
but yeah, I mean, if I didn't know that like they were really good friends, if I didn't have that context that they actually did like each other, I would have been so uncomfortable because they just kept going after each other.
Oh, there was something that he alluded to, and I didn't look this up. I was going to, and I forgot. Um, Bill Burr mentioned that John Lovitz can fight, and the thing that I remember hearing is that he beat up Andy Dick at one point in time.
I don't know if beat up is right. He punched Andy Dick at one point.
Okay.
He blames Andy Dick for the death of Phil Hartman.
Oh yeah, yeah. I because of
Andy, like Phil's
him.
wife was recovering from like cocaine addiction or something, and
Yeah,
Andy Dick gave her cocaine, and so that's like what she was on when she killed Phil
yeah.
and then herself.
Man, that's too bad
So yeah,
too.
I think I don't remember where it was. I haven't heard the full story, but I heard that John Lovitz did punch him at one point.
It. I wonder what Phil Hartman would be like if he was still around. I do think that people really. I mean, he okay. See if you'll follow me with this. Phil Hartman and Pat Cashman, in my opinion, similar energy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and
Like there's a
that was sort of the golden age of late night TV for me when Almost Live would be on, and then right after that, the Saturday Night Live with like Phil Hartman, John Lovitz,
yeah.
Dana Carvey, Mike Myers, and
He
Chris
had
Farley later on.
a gravitas and a professionalism to him
Yeah, he was the adult in
that
the room,
yeah, exactly. That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
and like almost
Um,
like he was like a lot older than a lot of like well established. I think John even tells this story to Bill Burr, like when because he was the one who was responsible for getting Phil Hartman on the Saturday Night Live, and like at the time, Phil was like already had a house in LA, had a career as a graphic designer going, and
yeah.
just kind of like accidentally became a part of the Groundlings.
Wow. That is crazy and cool.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I feel as though I mean, personally, I I would like to get involved in improvisational theater kind of in the way that you and I, do performance art stuff. Not to all of a sudden be a famous guy,
yeah,
but because the actual doing of it is fun.
yeah,
Like we
and
didn't
it
say
feeds that part of you.
that GudeLaurance is a stepping stone to something else. And it's lucky that we didn't because it
A
really
stepping
wasn't.
stone to Steppenwolf.
It actually was a stepping stone to we again I left after our biggest success at Bumbershoot. People really liked us there.
Yeah, all like 12 people in the audience, though.
They had a great time, Ben.
They know. They still remember it.
Yeah,
I still
yeah.
remember it.
We did a good job, and I appreciate you
Well, no,
and the work that we did.
we put
I
together a good show for that one. We
yeah
actually,
we
I don't, you probably remember this, Paul. That was one of the few things where we actually got together and rehearsed it a number of times.
I don't remember that, but
Because it's like,
I'm glad to hear
we're,
it.
we're playing the Leo K at the Seattle Rep. We got to make sure that we know what we're doing.
Did we rehearse for the other non-spin the bottle thing that we did? Because we did a sort of a we did kind of a clip show, right? That was sort of
At
the thing is
Sketchfest?
that we at Sketchfest, right? We took some of our best
Yeah.
stuff and did it. I think we rehearsed a little bit for that,
I
and I
don't
think that went.
remember. Yeah.
I think we did well at Sketchfest also. I seem to remember that people liked us.
Yeah, it was
Um,
also like one of our like for whatever reason we chose every bit we did that made a mess. So clean up after us was a pain in the butt.
sorry, that was a genuine cackle on my part. Um, I don't remember doing it, but I like it. Um, I really, Ben, the one thing that is interesting is I am for the first time maybe in my life comfortable with being over 200 pounds. Like I don't feel like it's a bad thing. I actually
Do you feel healthy with your
I
weight?
I feel more solid. Like
Yeah,
I can't be pushed around as easily.
right. Nobody's gonna
Which is
knock
really
me
impressive.
over when I'm sleeping.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's funny that you mentioned it, but it is very much that. Um, and also, I just feel better when I
Well,
eat
that's
more.
good. Yeah.
So yeah. Um, I did, however, have the Fit Slam at Denny's
The Fit
yesterday.
Slam. What is the Fit
Yeah,
Slam?
it's a egg white omelet with spinach and cherry tomatoes, two strips of turkey bacon, English muffin, and seasonal fruit.
All right.
And then I ate two of Betty's pancakes, which
I'm
put me over
assuming
the.
with her consent.
Oh no, yes, yes. Uh, Betty is on a stimulant medication and therefore doesn't eat as much. So
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to fill the
Not
house
waste
with things that
food.
she will eat,
Right.
which include donuts and ice cream bars.
So the medication makes her not hungry? Is that
That's correct. Yep,
okay?
that's
If
right.
the only thing you're going to eat during the day is donut and ice cream bars, you might want to expand your healthy options as well.
Sure. Um, but if you're not going to eat anything all day, if you don't eat donuts and ice cream bars,
It's just a coming down off the sugar high would be like something else.
yeah, I guess. I mean, probably. Oh, that's the other thing. Oh, well, we'll talk about it in just under 40 seconds.
Ah, I see.
Is there anything that we've missed? Anything that we need to talk about? Anything?
Uh, Today is my sister's 52nd birthday,
Hey,
and
congratulations to your sister.
Saturday is my 48th birthday.
Ben, happy early birthday.
Why, thank you, Paul. I'll have already turned 48 by the time this goes out.
Hey, that's pretty awesome. It's divisible by 12. Four times even.
Yes, I do have the emotional maturity of four 12-year-olds.
I really do. I think we've talked about this. I'll say it again. I really do think that if you go by 12s instead of tens,
Tens. Yeah.
it really does fit more the stages of life. 12 and under, you're a child. 12 to 24, you're a smart aleck kid. 24 to what is it, 36?
36.
You're a young adult.
Yeah.
36 to 48, you're an adult. 48 to 60,
60.
you're an older dude.
Yeah.
And then yeah, 60 to 72, you're just old.
So you're just old.
And then 72 to 84,
You're lucky to be alive.
you're lucky to be alive. And then 84 to 96, oh my gosh, can't believe you're still alive.
And
And
that's how you
then
count to 12s.
after 96, 108.
Willard Scott is going to call you
Willard
up every
Scott is
day on your
gonna.
birthday.
This is the thing that people don't know is that Willard Scott, whenever he celebrated people turning 100, that let them know that they only had 1 year before he was going to come after them. I really like that idea. You've got 1 more year,
Yep.
Al
Better get
Roker.
ready.
Okay,
All right.
so until then, Ben,
Until
have a
next time.
good week. Until I
Yeah.
talk to you next, and
Keep it wrong,
happy
Paul.
belated birthday. And this is how we're doing this because I'm saying happy birthday to you before your birthday, but when this comes out, it will be
When people
after
hear
your
it,
birthday.
it
So
will be
happy
afterwards.
belated birthday, Ben.
Thank you, Paul. I wish you would have remembered.
Yes. Keep it wrong.
Keep it wrong. Talk to you later.